Without that specific offer that is urgent, is valuable, and is clear, you're not going to be able to convert, and you're making your sales team's job 10 times harder than if you had just done this little bit of work up front in order to drive conversions. Hi, I'm Sara-Mai, Managing Director here at Madre. Madre is a B2B marketing agency specifically created for the automotive aftermarket. All of the insights that I share in these videos are how our clients have increased their awareness, their revenue, and their brand in order to become some of the leading companies in their category. I hope that you find these insights valuable. Welcome to another episode of our 30-day exhibition series, and today I wanted to get into the most valuable part of an exhibition, and that is your offer. And look, this is a safe space, okay? So me and you are talking, it's fine, but I want to hold your hand when I say this, and that is a stand is not a strategy. I know, take a minute, it's okay. So the issue that we have is that a lot of people say, come see us at event, come see us at Automechanika, and think that that is, it's dusted, that's it, we've made a really pretty stand, we've got everybody at the stand, obviously that's our strategy. But the issue is that that isn't a strategy at all. The strategy is the offer. So I've got some notes here and I want to take you through building that strategy, and the main thing that we're going to do is set up a framework in order for you to do that. So first off, I wanted to kind of turn the knife here, and I do apologise, but what happens when your stand is your strategy? Pretty much what happens is people stop by, you have a few chats, people take your pen, they take your tote bag, and then they disappear forever. They're gone. They've gone over the mountain. And the issue here is that that isn't pipeline, that is just polite footfall. Because without that specific offer that is urgent, is valuable, and is clear, you're not going to be able to convert, and you're making your sales team's job 10 times harder than if you had just done this little bit of work up front in order to drive conversions. And look, the reality of this is that you've paid a lot of money to be at an exhibition. So unfortunately, awareness isn't the strategy that's going to work in this context, okay? Really, we do want to be making that money back from the investment that we have made at the stand. Yes, you can have a longer sales cycle, but they need to be in the sales cycle. When we're just driving awareness and we just have a pretty stand and a load of people standing around with no idea of what to offer, they offer everything, it makes it a lot harder to convert and actually make that ROI. So what I've kind of listed here is that when you have an offer, it gives your content direction, it gives your team a focus, and it also gives your prospects a reason to react now. And you know, we've worked with brands here that when they've just changed their offer, what that has driven is 3 times more lead scans, 2 times more book demos, and an actual follow-up list that converts. Because again, turning up and saying, come say hi, it's not a message, it's not an offer. So we're going to fix that today. And my promise here is that you're going to learn by the end of this video exactly how to create an offer that turns curiosity into action. We're also going to use the Hormozi Offer Framework to increase conversions. We're going to align your offer to your funnel, your content, your team, and conversations. And then we're also going to structure a value stack that gets less generous as the show goes on. And I love this aspect, so I really like you to watch until then. And then we want to add and present the offer in a way that is clear, compelling, and conversion focused. So we kind of want to go from busy stand and no leads to, oh my God, we have so many leads in the pipeline and we're converting. So that's going to be a plan that actually delivers, right? So here's how we're going to do this. Is step 1, we're going to start with the Hormozi offer formula. So what this is essentially, if you can imagine a kind of math equation, you would have at the top, you would have dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement. And both of these you want to be as high as possible. Then you would have at the bottom your time delay times the effort and sacrifice, and you want both of these to be as low as possible. So I want to break this down for you. So first off, your dream result, which is basically what is the best possible result that your buyer wants. So for example, for a diagnostic brand, this would fewer misdiagnoses, faster jobs, more workshop revenue, more jobs completed in-house. For a training provider, that might be more confident and capable technicians. For software, it might be less admin, better bookings, and smoother workflows. A lot of it is going to tie directly to revenue. So what is that dream outcome? And I mean the outcome in the furthest state. So is that an increase in revenue, like we said there? Does confident and capable technicians increase the amount of jobs that they're able to do? Does less admin decrease overhead? So take a look at it that way. Now, perceived likelihood of achievement is how can you prove that this outcome is real? Because whenever we are kind of selling that dream outcome, people want proof, they want the receipts, they want to know, okay, can you actually deliver that? And the more that we can show them that we can concretely deliver that outcome, the better. So for example here, you would want to add case studies, demos, stats, and live testimonials. You'd maybe say 80% of users report saving 2 hours a day. Okay, so what is the perceived likelihood of achievement? How can we get it so that they believe that 100% this is going to work? For time delay, we want to make the benefit or the quick wins as fast as possible. So for example, you'll leave with full access today, or training starts next Monday. Yeah, or you'll have fully qualified technicians by next Tuesday. Or maybe the system goes live within 24 hours. It could be see results within 24 hours. So what is that time delay between them purchasing and then getting that end result, or getting progress to that end result? Then from there, we have effort and sacrifice. And this is basically to make it feel easy, especially if you're speaking to a decision maker in a company. They don't want much effort or sacrifice on their behalf. So how easy can you make it? So could you do a free setup? Could you do a done with you onboarding? Could you do a show only discount that kind of removes price objections? What is the effort and sacrifice that we can get rid of here? So that is the framework that we're going to use, and every element of the offer should aim to push that value up and the barriers down. That's essentially what this framework is. So step 2 on what I want to talk about today is actually picking the right offer type. Now, trade shows are a perfect place for kind of action-led offers, and you want a reason for them to act on the day. So when I am at an exhibition and, I've got a lot of people to meet, I've got a lot of people coming up to me with offers, why would I want to take this out specifically today rather than Googling it 3 weeks later? Is there an urgency, or is there a reason that I should purchase with you while I'm at the exhibition? And that is essentially what we have to craft here. So the best performing types for this would be a limited time discount, so 20% off if you book during the show. You could also do a value added bonus, for example, a free training bundle worth £500 if you sign up before Friday. You could then do a prize entry, which is scan to enter and win one of our top diagnostic tool worth £4,000. You could also create an experience led version of this, which would be book a free strategy session and leave with a personalized workshop plan. So the goal isn't to always sell at the stand, but what we are trying to do here is create something that moves them a step closer to the sale with something that they actually care about. So step 3 to this is that we've now created our offer. So we've done our dream outcome, how likely they are to achieve it, how quickly they can start seeing progress, and then what effort and sacrifice they don't have to do, essentially. And then from there, we have added in bonuses. Now, personally, I think that you should create a few bonuses and then take away a few throughout the exhibition, which I'm going to show you now. But you could also tweak this in a certain way that maybe the discount gets less. So step 3 is to use a countdown value stack. And the reason that we've come up with this strategy is because time delay sometimes feels fake and offers sometimes feel fake. So we want to show our prospects that these are genuine offers that will go away. Because how many times have you been at an exhibition where they've said 20% off our ADAS kit and then they're doing that next week anyway? So what was the point? Like, why did I need to buy the show? I didn't. And typically what I will do anyway, because I'm a cynic, is I will wait for that email after the exhibition saying you have 1 week to claim this offer, and it was the offer that they were forcing me to take on the stand. So it means that we lose credibility when we don't actually uphold our offers. So make sure that you do, and this is a way to concrete that in so that you're creating genuine urgency, because this is a genuine time sensitive offer. So the strategy that we're using at Automechanika, and I recommend it for you too, is to make that offer time sensitive and also visual. So you want to create a bonus stack that gets kind of less generous each day, is how I've put it. So an example here would be to book during day 1, you would get a free training, you'd get a merch bundle, you'd get exclusive video course. Then on day 2, you'd get training and merch only. And then day 3, you'd get training only. And you can then use this in your content on the lead up to the show so that people know that this is a genuine offer. You can even then do it with a certain amount of slots. Let's say, for example, you can only do 20 amount of training. Obviously, link this back to your revenue goals of what you can actually serve and how many sales that you need to make in order to make the event profitable. But that is how I would kind of level up this offer stack. So you don't need to discount if you're stacking value. And I think that this is so important, because what can happen when we discount our product or service is we are discounting the credibility. We're saying that we can make it for less. So typically I would like to keep the price where it's at, but give a lot of value. You know, for us, we're doing it over £7,000 worth of additional value that then doesn't demean our actual service, and then also shows that this is a genuine offer. So you also want to make it feel exclusive. You want to make it feel urgent, and essentially you want to make them feel like they'd be daft if they didn't actually walk away with it today. That's what we're trying to create here. So crucially here, you can also follow up when it comes to an offer stack like this. And what I wouldn't do is say, oh, but you can actually like have it if you want it. Instead, I would tweak it slightly and say, okay, we can't offer this, but what we can offer is this, since you didn't take it out on the actual day. This gives them the chance, because they know that then that offer is going to go away. So you're reinforcing that urgency. So once we've kind of done our value stack, and then we've also been less generous each day, you can see how we've tapped into everything so far. We've tapped into, okay, this is exactly the revenue that I'm going to generate. This is my dream outcome. And I know that I'm going to achieve it because they've got so many things showing me that they've achieved it. I know that I'm going to start seeing progress very quickly. And I also know that I'm not going to have to, sacrifice a lot of my time in order to get to that dream outcome. On top of that, I'm getting all of this value if I take it out today, which I will not get in a week's time. And I know that because tomorrow I'm going to get less value. So once we have done all of that, we then move into building a funnel that supports that offer. So the offer should look live, kind of inside a funnel. So for example, that would mean that you create a landing page with the offer, with a form, and then your CRM integration. So for us, that would be the V8 CRM, which you can get a free trial below, or you could use Salesforce, HubSpot, wherever you're using. From there, you want an automation that emails or texts them after the offer instantly, so that they have a way to actually convert. So maybe they haven't converted on the stand, but then later in the day, they're going, okay, actually, that 2 additional things that I might lose tomorrow, I do want to take them up on, so I will. And then the third thing that you want to do is you want to mark their interest. So in the V8 CRM, you want to put in where they are in the funnel so that you can send them the relevant information for those automated sequences that you have actually set up. The next thing that I want you to do is create a follow-up that references exactly what they saw on the stand. You want to reinforce and re-jog their memory. Remember, there are a lot of stands during the exhibition. They're seeing a lot of people. So always reminding, you're not repeating, you're not being annoying. In fact, you're being helpful. If their memory is anything like mine, then we thank you. So that's the next thing that you want to do. So even if they don't actually buy now, they are at least in your system, right? And that means that you've got the details, and it means that the team can follow up with content that is most relevant to them if you have put in the crucial information that allows you to personalize those follow-ups. So with this, what happens is the stand grabs the attention, the funnel captures the intent, and then the automation then drives that sale. Step 5 to all this, once you've created the offer, you've value stacked, and then you've also created the automation, is you want to make this as clear as humanly possible on the stand. You want your message to be concise, and you want it to be obvious when they're looking at the stand. They shouldn't look at loads of different things. They should look at the core offer that you've come to convert them on during the exhibition. So no one should have to ask what the offer is. They should know by looking at your stand, right? So you want to make it visual, you want it simple, and you want it everywhere. So that means team lanyards, that means merch stickers, that means flyers. You want it absolutely everywhere. And you also want it in the script that the team are saying over and over again during the day to make sure that the conversations are predictable. Not only does making the conversations predictable help you, gets rid of tire kickers, it gets rid of people that just want to talk about the weather, and then it means that you're actually driving them towards that end conversion, which is essentially what you're here at the exhibition for. Obviously, we're building relationships, but at the end of the day, if they are interested in that product, then you should have that like at the tip of your tongue, ready to convert. So what you can do for this is give them a 2-line pitch. So for example, you would say, this offer is only available during the show. If you want to scan here, and we'll send everything straight to your inbox. And an optional to this, where you could do spin the wheel, you could do a QR scan that kind of instantly wins something so that you gamify the experience. There's loads of ways that you can brilliantly allow your smaller team or your bigger team to kind of enhance this experience. So get creative with it. You know, once you've kind of made the offer and you've used that framework, that the world's your oyster in how you want to actually present it, as long as it's solid and clear. So let's kind of recap what we've gone over. Your offer is actually the engine and the actual strategy that you're going to use at the exhibition. Driving awareness is fine, but converting is clearly a lot better. You will drive awareness by being at the stand, by creating content, but we do want conversions and we do want sales from these marketing efforts. By having an offer, you align your team, you align your content, and you align your funnel. So this means that you're not actually guessing about what to put out, you're not guessing about what to put on the stand, and you're not guessing when you're talking to your prospects. If you have a core offer in place, all of this falls into place so that you are more aligned in what you're speaking about. And, you know, beyond actually converting to sales, this makes you look a lot more professional. It makes you look a lot more organized and kind of knowing the direction that you want to take the customer. That actually helps the customer, because if they're too confused on how to take action with you and you're talking about this offer and, oh, we do this and we do that, and of course you do a load of other things, but it is important that we kind of condense it to the audience that we're speaking to at the moment so that you can give them the best possible chance of coming out with a really good offer. Because at the end of the day, you've really stacked value here. You've given them what their dream outcome is. You've given them ways to achieve that. And then you've reduced that time, delay, and effort and sacrifice. So as a team member, you should be excited to give this offer to one of your prospects, and that is the key here. We want to align all of that so that you actually want to engage them in that conversation. Better yet, this offer makes people want to act now rather than later. If I knew that the offer was going to go away, of course I am more likely to take it if I wanted it. So it just means a lot of people, they're in the and ahhing stage, and that's because there's nothing behind it. They know that they can take it out in the next few months. But if there's something that really makes me want to take it now because I know it's a genuine offer, then of course I'm going to. If I know I'm going to make that purchase in the next 12 months and I have an opportunity right now to have that value stack on top, I'm obviously going to convert now rather than know that in 6 months time I'll convert without anything in that value stack. So I think it's really important to create and engineer it in that way. Of course, you don't want to do it that costs you to deliver it too much, but I would do something that's valuable based on either reinforcing that dream outcome or based on the customer persona, knowing the additional resources that they want. And finally, with the right automation stack on top of this offer, it kind of allows you to automate this workflow and follow up in ways that allow you to convert even when you're not having that conversation on the stand. Being able to send that offer right into their inbox, being able to remind them that the offer's going to go, and then being able to show them that on day 2 the offer's changed. That's really powerful. So collecting this data and making sure that you are using it live is really, really important. Too many leads die in spreadsheets and exhibitions, so it's really important that you nail this. Now, showing up to an exhibition, of course, isn't easy, but it is the easiest part. It's the one that we get stuck into. So building that offer can be quite difficult. So what I have done for you is I've created a stand specific offer builder. You can download it below, and this just comes with the framework and allows you to brainstorm this with your team. I really hope that it helps out. So this series is part of our runway to Automechanika. It's our first time exhibiting as Madre. We've done it plenty of times with clients, but now we will be at Stand A98 as ourselves. We will be giving away free marketing audits, and also anything that we've spoken about in this series or anything to do with your paid or organic marketing. Feel free to pop down the stand, and I would love to chinwag about that with you. So anything that you'd like to speak about, feel free to see us at the stand. Okay, thank you so much for your time and patience. Make sure to download that resource, and if you want any additional help with creating your offer, it is the most important part of your stand strategy. Feel free to reach out.